and gentlemen, for customers who have just joined us, welcome on board. Courtesy exit and front row seats should keep the area clear of all items. Please turn off all electronic devices.
Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening. Your safety and comfort in the cabin. My colleague, cabin service director, Mr. Ujwan. The flight time to Doha will be approximately 5 hours 55. We expect to be closed times even when the seatbelt signs are switched off. Before the this is joining on board the Scottish flight. Thank you.
Airlines, Virgin Australia, and Ryanair. When or under the seat in front of you, switch your electronic devices and mobile phone to flight mode. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes, lighters, and matches are not permitted anywhere on board.
لنا هذا وما كنا له مقرنين وإنا إلى ربنا لمنقلبون. I should have gotten more of this. I should have. Hey, what's going on, Q-Boss?
What's up, Kevin? Look, man, I need your help.
I need the world's greatest city.
morning 25 degrees Celsius with northwesterly winds. The local time now is exactly 4:53 a.m. On behalf of all the crew, we'd like to wish you a very pleasant stay in Doha while us on our journey. It's been our pleasure today. Thank you for flying with us. And hope to see you soon on board of the world's best airline. Bye-bye.
flights from airline, British Airways, Sheffield Headstone. We also ask that you keep all conversations at a low volume. Thank you for helping us. Sport 24 is now available on board powered by ultra fast Starlink.
I should have gotten more of this. I should have. Hey, what's going on, T-Mod?
What's up, Kevin? Look, man, I need your help. I need to work.
There's already oxygen out here. Oh, it's just not real, baby. If oxygen is required,
Sorry, when you want to go? When you want to go?
For charging other devices. Keep power banks visible while charging allowed devices. Do not leave them on carrying batteries or devices powered by lead batteries. There are individuals who need that at your Wi-Fi, and you can join the privilege club to stay connected for the rest duration of the flight. And this notification is from the Animal and Plant Quarantine Agency of Korea. Second, the traveler shall avoid visiting livestock-related area like animal farm and livestock industry shall avoid visiting animal farms when traveling to infectious disease-affected country. And
With the exception of handheld portable electronic devices in flight mode, the use of electronic devices, the mask toward you will activate the oxygen supply. Place the mask over your nose and mouth, adjust the band to secure it, and breathe normally.
Inflate the life jacket as you leave the aircraft by pulling on the red toggle sharply downward.
Water,